Batman Superman World's Finest issue 3, Mark Waid writing with Dan Mora on the art. So we left, various characters in different places at the end of issue 2. Superman and Batman are with Billy Batson, dealing with
In hell.
well, allegedly hell. So they're dealing with that. Robin and Supergirl went into the past to try and find out more about how they defeated. I always forget that. Neza, yeah, Devil Neza. Yeah. So you got that going on, and then Doom Patrol are off to seek some, get some questions answered about everything going on as well. So we have these three sort of plot threads going still in this issue, which is neat. And we get a nice variety of characters. It still has that kind of sense of humor. There's a lot of like little jabs from Superman to Batman about various things, which is quite nice. The issue starts with Superman like not really doing anything while they're surrounded by hell, and Batman's like screaming at him, "What are you doing?" And what he's actually doing is listening for the real heartbeat, so that he knows where the villain is and is able to then basically stop it right there and then.
I do love the close up on him going like shh to Batman.
Yeah. More pacing on these things is excellent.
Yeah. It's really good. So the Devil Nez is like going after various people. Obviously, that leads to the cliffhanger at the end of the issue as well. But the idea that he's building alliances or controlling people and giving them upgrades, because when we see later on Superman and Batman end up fighting, they go to Central City to get to Barry. They go talk to the Flash, and like Mirror Master's got an upgrade. He's got like this red mirror that's sort of flying around and doing various things. So and Dr. Alchemy's up doing stuff as well. So they've both got upgrades, and then obviously the end of the issue, the big cliffhanger is that Alfred, he's standing behind Alfred, and it's all kind of like, oh, like he's in Alfred's head right now.
Yeah, because Bruce calls in for some backup information from Alfred, and Alfred's like, oh, there's nothing, and then you see basically the devil on his shoulder behind him.
Yeah, everything's A-okay. Yeah. So
I will say that Wonder Jesus, I'm out of it today, guys. Supergirl and Robin go into the past to basically find the Planeteers. That made me laugh.
Oh yeah, when they said that there's 4 of them and one has the power of fire, one has the power of water, one has the power of wind, one has the power of earth.
They all have these elemental, and I was just like, oh, there's missing heart.
They're missing Lilu Multipass.
Yeah. So I thought that was real funny, but I do like that Robin gets their trust by taking off his mask. I was like,
makes such a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that the Earth guy managed to put Supergirl down, so we know he's super strong. So the fact that it took the efforts of all 4 of them to finally seal Neza in the tomb, we saw what he did to Supergirl. That we're dealing with an ultra powerful enemy, which I did like that. Yeah,
there's some fighting for a bit, but they're able to calm them down eventually and be like, okay, we're here for information. So. And you got the Doom Patrol going to see Methuselah and being surprised to find that he's old and senile. And
he's always old. That's kind of the whole.
Well, true. Yeah, but
General Immortus, right?
Yeah, but now he can't remember anything. He's scared. He's not a threat anymore. So there's some humor here with this. I love seeing the Doom Patrol in this book because I love how sort of pulpy and fun it is. And when a Negative Man kind of scares them with because he's not really answering their questions, but then he makes the symbol of Neza and it scares the shit out of him, and starts talking about the tomb and the island of Corto Maltese. So they're sort of getting piecing the mystery together, and the art here throughout is just gorgeous. I love the designs on a lot of these characters that Mora's working with.
Yeah, it's still the big draw for me because the writing, the story, it's fine. I don't know how I feel about Devil Measure. It's whatever. It just kind of feels like it'll do. It's a plot, right? But the art is fantastic.
Well, I like it more than you do, so I'm not going to agree with that. But sure.
Yeah, no, but I get where he's coming from, just because the way that Waid, we know what Waid's capable of. And it feels like he's writing in a very specific style.
It's a very intentionally pulpy story, but the reason why it's working for me is not so much the villain necessarily. It's more the characters and how all their interactions are. I think it makes a lot of sense to me that everyone's at least in a pair, if not in a group, in all these stories, because it's all they're bouncing off of each other that's really making it sing. You know, like just the little jabs between Supergirl and Robin, the little jabs between Superman and Batman, the Doom Patrol dialogue with each other. That's what's making it really sing. On top of the great art and all that stuff working. So, like, you know, I'm digging all that. I also love how, you know, this has been a running joke, obviously, in Nightwing with Wally. They're like, what's the honorable way to be carried by the Flash when he's running you somewhere? I love that Batman's like honorable way to be carried by Superman is to like be held by the shoulders and just stand upright. Is it, you know, he doesn't want to be carried like he's a baby or piggyback. He just wants to.
Yeah, it helps that he's got one, the strength to do it, and two, the flight, so he can, you know, hold him dangling down as he's like flying. Whereas with the Flash, is not really an option to hold them underneath them, is it?
I love that this is like the method. This is how he wanted to be held for this flight. It just cracked me up. So that's really cool. And surprise, Dan Moore's Flash also looks really good.
Dan Moore's everything looks really good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But like again, from reading what's in future, he really nails like the mystical kind of stuff. So when they go back to 1579 China, all of those characters feel like they're ripped right out of what's in future. You know, like with the weapons and
I want to see Dan Moore on an Avatar book.
Oh, what'd you just say that
as in
the Na'vi, Pandora.
Not
there you go.
Not blue.
Should have said Last Airbender. I know. My original point was it just like more strengths are really in that mystical kind of stuff, but then you see him draw Superman, throw a batarang, and you're just like, this is great. Like, you know, Moore can do it all. And this book is really, you know, they'd always said that the story for Hush was built around what characters Jim Lee wanted to draw. And I don't think that's necessarily true here, but it's almost like Mark Waid going, all right, who can I give Moore to draw next?
Yeah.
All right, how about General Mortis?
Of course.
How about Felix Foss?
Yeah, Green Lantern shows up, of course, by the end. But the twist is, and this is right before the Alfred reveal, is that Green Lantern's working for Neza and traps him in a green cage, and that's when Batman calls Alfred to say, is there anything, you know, wrong? But we just see like, you know, it's like almost literally the devil like over his shoulder. He's actually got his hand on Alfred's shoulder as Alfred says, no, everything's as it should be. So
not a good couple months for Hal Jordan.
So no, it's putting Batman and Superman. I mean, they're not completely alone in that Doom Patrol and Supergirl and Robin are also doing stuff, but they're separated right now from them, so it's going to make Batman and Superman feel like they're on their own next issue, presumably, and give them, you know, some stacked decks to fight against, which should be fun. So, I'm having a delightful time with this book.
No, I mean it's perfectly fun. I'm just not in love with that, I don't think, to the same degree that you are.
Perfectly delightful time. Matt, what are you giving World's Finest?
I'm gonna give this one an 8.
Connor?
I'll give it a 7.5. I'll bump it up a little bit than I think I was initially thinking, just because more is art.
Yeah, I'm happy to give this an 8.5. I'm having a delightful time with. I think Mark Waid's dialogue's just good, and the only critique I've really had throughout the book so far is some of the weird powers that he's added on to like some characters, which annoy me an issue too.